to the Nurse Webinar Series, an exclusive learning experience for our dedicated healthcare professionals. Tonight, we focus on one of the greatest public health achievements, the elimination of vertical transmission of HIV through early testing, effective antiretroviral therapy, and consistent maternal care. Countless lives have been transformed. Each milestone brings us closer to an HIV-free generation, a future built on compassion, commitment, and the tireless efforts of nurses like you. Thank you for joining us and for being part of this journey.
I had this kind of like 5-year deadline goal to be an expert in leadership. But about halfway through the 5-year process, everything changed. I quit asking the question, how long will it take? And I started asking, how far can I go?
Live to Lead, a powerful one-day leadership event featuring world-class speakers and time-tested leadership principles designed to help you grow, lead, and thrive. John C. Maxwell is the world's most influential leadership expert, #1 New York Times best-selling author, speaker, and founder of Maxwell Leadership. With over 35 million books sold, his work has shaped leaders in every country and every industry. Tiffany Bova is a 2-time Wall Street Journal best-selling author, former global growth and innovation evangelist at Salesforce, and a top business thinker named by Thinkers 50. She's delivered over 1,000 keynotes worldwide, hosts a 5-star podcast, and is a leading voice on sales, growth, and customer experience. Meet Jesse Cole, the guy in the yellow tux, founder of the Savannah Bananas and the mastermind behind Banana Ball, the fastest, wildest game in sports. With over 3 million fans on the ticket waitlist and 20 million followers worldwide, Jesse's not just changing baseball, he's making it fun again. Anthony Trucks. From foster care to the NFL to American Ninja Warrior, Anthony Trucks defied all the odds. Now as an identity shift coach and creator of the Dark Work Experience, he helps people unlock who they were born to be and make shifts happen. Craig Groeschel is a New York Times best-selling author and one of the most influential voices in leadership today. Craig speaks regularly at global leadership conferences, and he is known for his forward-thinking leadership and commitment to helping people grow in purpose, character, and impact. Valerie Burton is a best-selling author, executive coach, and founder of the Coaching and Positive Psychology Institute. Known for her practical strategies and uplifting message, she helps individuals and organizations thrive through resilience, purpose, and personal development. With appearances on The Today Show, CNN, and Oprah Magazine, Valerie is a trusted voice in personal growth and leadership. Mark Cole is the CEO of Maxwell Leadership and John Maxwell's right-hand leader for over 2 decades. With deep expertise in leadership development, Mark has trained and equipped leaders in over 150 countries. He leads with authenticity and clarity, helping individuals and organizations multiply their influence and create lasting impact.
What is your potential? How far can you go? I would have to tell you, I have no clue. When I grow in my awareness and I develop my strengths and I make the right choices, my potential is unlimited.
Welcome, colleagues. This is us, the Clinical Care Platform. How are you doing? It's a Wednesday today, and I am so excited. We had to rethink at the Clinical Care Platform around how we can serve our nurses better. I know there's many people who have joined who are not nurses, because we do want to appreciate the interdisciplinary approach in how we deliver our educational programs. But we do get cries from various disciplines, saying, hey, where's oral health? And hey, where's physio? And we are really trying to be responsive. I think we had the first run on the NES webinar series, and now we want to make it a little bit more interesting, more diverse. The council has also published CPD requirements for nurses. They say you must do something on research, something on leadership. So I can tell you something great there is being cooked for you. I mean, it's for everyone, but we are also trying to ensure that nurses have their own corner here at the Clinical Care Platform. And I would truly encourage all other health professionals, as I've seen all the doctors here, the physios, the pharmacists, because if you can learn how to do what is done at primary healthcare, there's a role for a GP, for a primary healthcare pharmacist, etc. We need to find ways to ensure that all our topics can speak to all or to everyone. And today I'm so excited. I am not alone. I am with, I'm going to say Sister Kulani, Koza, because, we come a long way with Kulani, me and her, in the early days, working together in Mpumalanga. She's from Bushbuck Ridge. I could easily say at the time she was my mentee, but today she's my boss. Can you imagine? Guys, let's give her an applause even before you hear her voice, because it's a sign. If you intentionally put an effort to grow yourself, nothing can stop you. You can only go higher and higher. And I'm so excited to host Sister Kulani Koza. Hi, Kulani. You can just admit just to say hi, just for people to hear your voice, because I'm so excited. I think I'm doing things not the normal way.
Hi, Dr. Mawele, and hi, everyone. And thank you, my
Yes.
mentor, for this opportunity.
Oh, I'm still the mentor. Hey, I thought now,
Yes.
I'm the employee and you are my kulubas there.
No, you remain my mentor forever.
Yeah, so I really, I told her this one again, I'm so excited when you see people growing in their role and now having an impact at a national level, running a national program supporting our country to ensure that we get to a state where we have an HIV-free generation. I think if you are joining here as a nurse, be excited that there are no limits. The only limitation you have is in your mind. Let me tell you, there's always, I always tell people, for example, there's a possibility that when God looks at me, he sees a president. If he was to show up, he will say, hey, President Mawela. And you know what will be my response? Oh, me? No, me, I'm a facilitator at CCP. You see the gap between how I see myself and how God sees me. This is the potential, and we need to close that gap. if you can appreciate and have a very high self-image of yourself, that will help you to have a high self-esteem, and you would realize that there is nothing that you want to achieve which is impossible. Just go for it. Let me stop preaching and officially welcome you as my dearest Sister Gulari, but let me read your profile so that people can know. So she is a nurse clinician who holds a diploma in nursing in community and psychiatry, also a midwifery, a postgraduate diploma in nursing science, health assessment, treatment, and care. She also has a postgraduate degree in nursing science, nursing services, management, and education. She has a higher certificate in management, a certificate in advanced health management program in public health as well. She has over 20 years work experience in public health and also in NGO settings. She has worked in Women's and Maternal and Reproductive Health Chief Directorate in the National Department of Health since 2021, and she is responsible for supporting all maternal, neonatal, sexual, and reproductive health services, including PTP, PMTCT, VTP activities, and also monitoring the implementation of maternal, neonatal, and PMTCT policies, guidelines, and standard operating procedures. As you can see there with a beautiful epaulet, and she's going to take us through the current state. So this is probably a public health kind of presentation. There might be some detail around programmatic issues. If you do have questions, do post them in the chat as we officially welcome Sister Kulani on board. Yes, you may share your slides, Sister Koza, and then we take it from there. Colleagues, you know how we welcome new people here at CCP. We give them lots of hugs and hearts. You may share your slides now. Yes.
Oh, can you see it, Doc?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
You can reshare via Zoom.
sure.
Yeah, sure it will come through. Yes. Yeah, now we can see your slides. You can put them on full screen or slideshow. People are so
Let
happy
me
to
know if
see
you can
you.
see.
I don't know if you saw all the
I
hearts
see.
there.
I can see. I'm humbled. Can you see? Can you
Yes,
confirm
we
if you
can
can see now?
now see your slides. Thank you so much. You may start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doc, and thank you, colleagues. Good evening once more. Thank you for this opportunity. So we will be talking about, actually we'll be discussing, it's not a one way, we are all going to learn from this, about the progress towards elimination of vertical transmission of HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. So as a country, we are looking forward to address the agenda of triple elimination. Now, remember during PMTCT eras, we're only focusing on HIV. So now we want to focus on the three infections, which is HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. So most of my presentation points will be around these three infections, summarizing the VTP guideline, the 2023 guideline. So I just wanted to make colleagues to be aware of this guideline. If they are not aware, maybe before the end of this, you should download it on our Knowledge Hub, or if Dr. Maula, you have something to post on so that they have the guideline before we finish this. So it looks like this. It's a family-oriented kind of a guideline because that's what we are working towards, like a family approach. So if you have the correct one, it should be August 2023. That is the correct version. So I just wanted to highlight that. So we'll be discussing about the VTP and the Global Alliance pillars. I'm not sure if colleagues are aware about the Global Alliance, but I will talk a little bit about Global Alliance just to sensitize people. And we talk about the landscape and the performance of our program, the VTP program, and just summary of the guideline. I only took areas where I think we are not doing well or I realize there are gaps. So I won't be talking about all that is inside the VTP guideline, and also share the successes, the gaps, and the remedies that we have on the program. I think most colleagues know these pillars, but just make emphasis on it. so that before we understand these pillars, we won't win because we won't manage well or appropriately. So it's so important for us to understand these pillars that are guiding the VTP program. And maybe I can explain now we're calling it VTP program. For those who didn't know that we call it vertical transmission prevention. It was called PMTCT initially. Then we changed it in 2023. Responding to the civil society and aligning ourselves with the global expectations. So pillar 1 is talking about preventing the transmittable infections. I mean, the 3 infections that I spoke about initially. So we need to prevent here, and we have activities or interventions that are implementable to address pillar 1, like the HTS testing and screening, for syphilis also testing, and hepatitis B testing. We offer condoms and also offer PrEP for HIV to prevent the new infections. And pillar 2, we are preventing unintended pregnancies for those who maybe we failed to prevent these infections in pillar 1. Now they have infections. We can still continue to have interventions that are preventing the unintended pregnancy. So they need to plan their pregnancies. Here we can provide condoms and contraceptives so that they will plan to have the pregnancies when they are ready. And pillar 3 is talking to now this population, like we failed, or the intervention in pillar 1 and pillar 2, they were suboptimal now because now they have an infection, also they are pregnant. So also we need to continue preventing or treating them and preventing the transmission from the mother to the infant, which is vertical transmission, like testing them, offering them treatment, PrEP if they're negative also. Oh, actually, yeah, they're already positive. We offer them ARVs. We monitor their viral load. We give their infants prophylaxis. And pillar 4 is addressing the index testing. Like we include families, as we said, you are family oriented. So we need to treat, or if now the pregnant woman is positive, we also need to screen their partners. We test them. If they're positive, we put them on treatment, or if they're discordant, we give them PrEP, and also check their other children and infants. We make sure like the whole family now is protected. We give them treatment and we support them in any way that they need support. I will talk a little bit about Global Alliance. So this is just a sensitization. So Global Alliance, it needs a presentation on its own, but I just want to sensitize colleagues because now this is the new thing or new strategy in the country, is a global commitment. Our minister committed that we are going to be part of the alliance countries. So we are in phase 1. So it's mostly integrated to VTP guideline. We'll see. So we also have 4 pillars, and pillar 1 is talking to addressing the issues of children and adolescents. So from all first 95, second and third 95, all their issues are under pillar 1. So we need to make sure our children are tested, initiated on treatment, and the viral load is suppressed for us to end AIDS in children by 2030. 2030 is our target. Yeah. Then pillar 2 is talking about closing treatment gap for pregnant and breastfeeding women. Here we're talking about pillar 2 and 3 because already they are HIV positive. So we need to close the treatment gap because we still have pregnant and breastfeeding women that are positive, non-HIV positive, but they are not on treatment, or if they're on treatment, but their viral load is not suppressed. So we cannot win the pillar 3 that I was talking about without addressing these 3 pillars. Then pillar 3 is talking to our first 95 because they want to prevent and detect new infections for pregnant and breastfeeding women. So the difference between pillar 2 and pillar 3 is talking to HIV negative, pregnant and breastfeeding women. We want to continue to maintain their HIV negative status where we offer PrEP. I think colleagues are aware now. We are talking about the new thing, the new drug on board or new baby on board, the Kapavir injection. So now we continue with the oral until we have that one, but we promote prevention of new infections. Pillar 4 is addressing the rise, gender equality and social structural barriers. So on this one, we are working together with other stakeholders like DBE and DSD to address this. So we need to address it. We also have targets here, which is 10, 10, 10, like we make sure we are treating our patients that are HIV positive according to the guidelines of the country. We are not stigmatizing them. We are not exposing them to GBV. So it was just a summary, but as a country, we have launched this Global Alliance for South Africa in 2023 during AIDS Day. We have 2 provinces that are already launched, also is Gauteng and Eastern Cape. We are looking forward for Mpumalanga and KZN soon, but we expect all the provinces to launch this, so we're working on that. So it was just a tip. Okay, so here, I love this slide. So this one is showing the progress of the VTP, the then PMTCTs, since we started the program in the country. How did we progress up to this far? When we started around 2000, where we're still giving the single dose of nevirapine, now showing the new infections, the bar is showing the new infections, and the line is the MTCT rate. We are around 70,000 new infections. And we progress well as we continue changing or reviewing the guidelines up to 2024. You will see now at 2024, we are around 2.6 mother-to-child transmission rate, which is less than 10,000 new infections per year. So I think it's a very good, significant stride that we have made. We have made a good progress. We can clap for ourselves. We did well as a country. So because of you colleagues, we are here. We can continue doing better than this. As I spoke about, I like that. I spoke about the Global Alliance. As a country, we have a Global Alliance. So we have different teams, as I said, it's multi-stakeholder. Now, one of our M&E subcommittee developed the VTP cascade. For the first time, you will check on the HIV side, on the HAS side, we do have cascade, but we do not have a cascade for VTP. So now they developed this cascade. So I just wanted to show you also how we are going. We'll see the first visit coverage, we are at 98%. And the women that know their status out of this is 99%. So most of our women, they know their status, which we are doing well is good, because we are testing them in every antenatal visit, so they know their status, and we're giving them treatment. So they are 99% of them are initiated on ART. And remember, this performance is for Q1, meaning April to June 2025. But there comes the problem, the viral load coverage. So all our women, the 99 pregnant women that are on treatment, but only 53% are taking, like half, they are collected viral load. So we're not doing well on the viral load collection, where we need to improve. And the viral load suppression is 90%. But it's not like we're doing well with the 90%, because it's 90% suppression of the 53 that were collected. So we still miss a lot of pregnant women not collecting viral load. So this is the cascade for syphilis. As I said, we are going triple elimination. So also for syphilis, we just wanted to show you the progress or the performance of our syphilis testing. We'll see the first by showing the eligible, meaning all the antenatals that attended antenatal first visit, the around 400,000. And we tested 363,000, meaning 90% of them, we tested them for syphilis, and 19,000, they tested syphilis positive. And remember, chances are this 19,000 is not only syphilis, they might have tested for HIV. Now the babies now, they are exposed to syphilis and HIV already. And remember, if they test positive for syphilis, we need to give them treatment same day, because now we're using repeat testing. We gave, out of 19,000, we gave 16,000 the syphilis first dose of BPG Vicilin. And only 58% completed, meaning only 9,000 got their 3 doses. So we give them first, but we don't complete the treatment, the doses, like the 3 doses, which also can affect our transmission rate of the syphilis. We also need to do better on the treatment and the completion. So why do we want to eliminate these 3 infections? Because all of them, they are transmitted sexually and vertically from mother to infant. And if you don't treat them, they can cause significant maternal and child morbidity and mortality. And they have silent or latent period infections, like they cannot show. Mothers can come to or patients can come to our consultation room and we miss them because they don't have symptoms. All of them, they don't show symptoms up until it's late. But what is good is that all of them, we can test them during antenatally, we can treat them before the mother delivers to prevent the transmission. So we don't have any reason not to treat or not to eliminate all 3 infections. This one I wanted to show that if you don't take any interventions, the risk, the level of risk of transmission is between 25 to 45%, I mean, and across all the continuum of care, like from antenatally, labor, and breastfeeding. So meaning our interventions needs to address all these areas. During antenatal, we need to have intervention to prevent the transmission because we have a level of transmission risk, and during labor and delivery and during breastfeeding. So if you don't have any intervention, we are putting our babies at risk, like between 25 to 45%, which is a lot. And one of the interventions or the kind of intervention that we have now, we have 2 strategies that we think can help to address this. And these strategies can work in each of this continuum that I just explained previously. The first strategy, which will be our first strategy, is minimize infant exposure to the virus. How are we going to do that? By monitoring the viral load. So we need to make sure their viral load is suppressed during pregnancy, during delivery, and during postnatal. And a suppressed viral load, we define it as less than 50 copies. Strategy 2 will work together with strategy 1. So we need to give them the infant prophylaxis. Here I'm talking about appropriate prophylaxis. You will see in my next slides why I'm saying appropriate prophylaxis, because the strategy 2 is dependent on strategy 1. If you don't know the viral load results of the mother, we cannot give appropriate prophylaxis. So strategy 2 will be affected in a way. But in any way, if these strategies are suboptimal, which may put the children or our infants at risk of getting the infection, but how will we know that? We need to test them. We have early infant diagnosis, which is PCR testing up until 6 months. Then we can test using the repeat. So we have a schedule I will show you on the next slide, where we need to test them as early as possible. Like at any point when they test positive, we initiate them on ARV timely. Then we give them cotrimoxazole prevention therapy. And here, colleagues, may I emphasize that the cotrimoxazole prophylaxis now has changed in the 2023 guideline. We don't give to exposed infants, we give only to HIV infected children. So if the PCR test negative, they don't qualify to get cotrimoxazole, but we only give to ones that their PCR test positive. And we also promote breastfeeding, because we want our children to thrive with HIV. If at any case they tested HIV positive, but even if it's negative, we promote breastfeeding. But for our HIV positive one or the infected one, we want them to survive and thrive with HIV. Here I was trying to summarize the testing, the durations for all these infections. So for pregnant women, for HIV, we test them. The first time they book, they come to our facilities to book for antenatal. We test them. And if the test is negative at first booking, every time they come for bank, it's linked to their bank visit, which is 4 to 6 weeks, depending on what, but it's linked to your bank visit. Then they should be tested every time. Then we repeat it also during labor and delivery. if they remain negative throughout pregnancy, they're going to repeat the testing during labor and delivery. And for syphilis, they're going to test also at the confirmation of pregnancy. So now we have rapid diagnostic tests, we should call it, we have dual HIV and syphilis testing and the single syphilis testing. So if there are unknown HIV status, we're going to use the dual HIV syphilis rapid testing. So we link this training, or we align the syphilis testing with the HIV. Every time they come for bank visit, you test both. As long as they tested negative for both infections on the previous visit, then we do. But if at any point they test HIV, maybe she tests HIV positive, now we're going to use single syphilis rapid test. At any point she tests syphilis positive but HIV negative, then we're going to use the HIV test only. So you only use the dual if both infections remain negative. Also, we align it with the pregnancy testing schedule and at labor, and at any time now the mother delivers have an IUD, intrauterine death, we test them for syphilis, because syphilis is contributing to our stillbirth and any intrauterine death. So we want to be sure if that was not the cause, syphilis was not the cause of that. And at any time, if the mother has clinical symptoms of syphilis, we also repeat, we test them. And for hepatitis B, this is also a chronic condition. We test them at any point during their current pregnancy, but preferably during their first visit. So if we have missed the testing of hepatitis B at first visit, when they come for follow-up, you can continue testing them. And here we don't have the rapid test so far, so we will collect the blood and send it to laboratory. So meaning if now at your consulting room, we see a pregnant woman for the first time, you need to make sure before they get out of the consulting room, you have collected you have tested them for all these 3 infections. So for breastfeeding women, we're going to retest them. So in case this one for HIV, even during labor and delivery, they remained negative, we are also going to continue retesting them postnatally or during breastfeeding at 10 weeks when they take their children for EPI. So we link the mother's services with the babies, because we promote mother-infant pair or mother-baby pair. So always is linked together. And if they continue breastfeeding, we're going to test them every 3 months now. As long as they are still breastfeeding, we continue to test them 3 months. For syphilis, we don't retest during breastfeeding, and hepatitis B. So what interventions do we have in case anything changes here? So for all HIV negative pregnant women, we offer them PrEP, because we want to address the pillar 3 of Global Alliance, also pillar 1 of the VTP guidelines. So we want to reduce new infections. So we want them to remain negative. Then we continue giving them PrEP, and they will retest every 3 months as per PrEP guideline. And at any point, if now they test positive, whether during pregnancy or during breastfeeding, postnatally, we start ART immediately. Like UTT still applies. We start them on ARVs, and preferably as we promote the TLD or DTG-based regimen. So we need to make sure our pregnant and breastfeeding women are on TLD or DTG-based regimen. And we monitor their viral load. As I said, viral load is our first strategy to eliminate vertical transmission. We need to make sure that is the priority. We need to monitor their viral load. What is important on the viral load also is the EGK code. So we have an electronic gatekeeping code that we use when you collect viral load. We need to put it so that laboratory does not reject it, because the time period of collecting these viral loads for pregnant and breastfeeding women is different to the general population. And if you don't put the EGK code, it's going to be rejected. So for now, currently we have 2 EGK code that might change. We are reviewing the guidelines. It might change soon, but for now, because it's not yet approved, we can say you continue using the C hashtag PMTCT when you collect viral load during antenatal and during postnatal. But now if you collect the viral load at delivery, you say C hashtag deliver. But yes, it will change soon. What we will share, we'll communicate. And for syphilis, if they continue testing negative, we continue the routine screening. And for all other STIs, not only syphilis, we screen them and every time they visit us. And if they test syphilis positive, we give them the BPG, the Bicillin, 3 doses every week until they complete before they deliver. And for hepatitis B, since 2023, when they were testing hepatitis B negative, we were giving them vaccine. So the reason I put a question mark is like now the guideline is under review, then the vaccination of hepatitis B negative is halted. So now we were just going to test, but we are not giving them anything until we finalize the guideline. But now, if now they test hepatitis B positive, we give them the TDF FTC containing regimen, the treatment that we are giving for ART and PrEP. So we have treatment also. So we have no, as I said, we have no excuse not to treat all these infections. We have treatment. Okay, so when do we collect viral load? Just a reminder, when do we collect viral load? During pregnancy. So we have 2 categories. The first one is now if the patient is initiated on ART the first time they come for antenatal, or they were initiated previously, but at some point maybe they defaulted or they were lost to follow up. When they come now, we reinitiate them. We are going to collect their viral load 3 months after treatment, meaning if they initiate now November, the 3 months after November will be January, February, around then we collect them the viral load. And remember always, when you collect viral load, you put the EGK code. That's the only way we are going to manage these clients well. Without viral EGK code, we might not win because it will be rejected and we won't manage. We won't know how to manage them after that. Then at any point, if it's suppressed, we repeat this viral load that we collected at 3 months at delivery. The second category is now we have a lot of women that already book on ART. They book on ANC like already on ART. So because they're already on ART, we collect their viral load the first day that they come on their first visit. We collect their viral load. And if it's suppressed, we're going to repeat it at delivery. So if it's not suppressed, we have a algorithm on the guide, and I did not put it here because I'm promoting that we need to make sure that it's suppressed, but you can refer, is there on the guideline how to manage the unsuppressed viral load before they deliver, which is 4 weeks interval. So you can just follow the algorithm on the guideline. And please, we need to make sure, like, if you measure this viral load, we need to act. As I said, the viral load that is suppressed is less than 50 copies. Anything above 50 copies is not suppressed, meaning we need to act urgently following the unsuppressed viral load algorithm, and it will tell you what to do, and we'll follow that. But we need to make sure the pregnant women viral loads are suppressed. Then if it was suppressed throughout antenatal, we are going to repeat it at delivery. As I said, labor and delivery, make sure it's collect it, and we put the EGK code, the C hashtag delivery, so that it can be tracked and it will guide us to give appropriate infant prophylaxis. Then after delivery, we're also going to collect it 6 months after delivery. 6 months postnatal after the delivery period, we repeat it. Also, you put, now it will be postnatal, you will put the C hashtag PMTCT, or you will put the new EGK code that is coming, but make sure every viral load it needs to have, for pregnant, delivery, or postnatal, it needs to have an EGK code. So we'll put that. Then it will be every 6 months if the mother opts to breastfeed. Then every 6 months we collect viral load and put EGK code, because we want to make sure we reduce the transmission. Remember, viral load is our first strategy. And if we don't monitor it during breastfeeding, they can transmit the